Good evening. Good morning. It's like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I got back to my folks' place. Want to say a little after 11 o'clock. I had left at around 6:30. Thankfully, this time the way I went, it only took like 3/4 of a tank instead of having to stop about halfway and top up a little bit so I can at least have that extra quarter tank when I get back. I just don't like going the other direction. I don't really like going up the 97 and then cutting over on the 43 through Oak Ridge. Not when you're by yourself type thing, and at night, because it's just, there's nothing really, you can't see anything. All you see is lights, and it's just, you get a lot of dumbasses that drive along that stretch of 97 anyways. A little north of Chiloquin and Tumult area, going towards Bend. There's sections there where there's just nothing, and then you get people who get anxious and want to get in a hurry and start passing, and that's when car accidents happen. One of my cousins, his wife, and a friend of theirs and a pet all died in an accident that way instantly, and another person I think got severely injured. I don't remember on that part, but it was on that exact highway. So I don't pass on that highway unless there's a passing lane. No, I worked on the bathroom some more, which I'll throw a little picture up here, somewhere. And got the top floor put in some wood putty in a couple spots just near the tub, mainly to help protect some of the wood right there. And when it's not linoleum, it's vinyl, but when I laid the vinyl down, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this shit going, oh great, the liquid nails I have, I had it for a couple years and all that, so none of them was gonna work. They had all pretty much turned to just rubber. So I gotta get some more of that so I can make sure that flooring gets put down and stable to the floor. But I got it down nice. It's all set to the floor. I just gotta kind of lift it and do all that stuff. And then I'm gonna put caulking or whatever all the way around the bathroom on the floor, and that way there's some sort of water sealant going between the floor and the wall. Keeps anything from getting inside the wall so easy. But and then they can put in baseboards or whatever they want. But I'm just making sure they have a fully functioning bathroom. I still got to talk to a couple of the attorneys or whatever about an easement thing on the house, on the shop and everything. Explain to them the situation or whatever, and that type of thing. For a second, I'm pretty sure I saw someone standing in the door right there, but it could have just been the way the lighting was. But I had to talk to them about that, but then I had another realtor who is also involved on this. That's, I guess, on the buyer's side of it, because I got a buyer. Yay. Just a couple hoops I gotta jump through. But myself and the other property owners gotta sign some paperwork to help with the title and everything getting cleared there for the house. CODA. And so So I'm guessing that means the house is basically sold. We're just doing the last couple things. It's supposed to be done by the 7th. And so I go back down next weekend. I was supposed to be done this weekend. So I'll get back to the bathroom thing. So I get the flooring all down, and not only did I realize the liquid nails was going to work, I didn't have the liquid nails anymore, but I also noticed the vanity on the inside, it has a solid back. So it has 2 drawers instead of a cabinet. And you've got to drill the holes out in the backing of it so that the plumbing can fit through. So basically it hides the plumbing. And in order for, like, say the next person to get to, they got to just take out the top drawer, both drawers, and they can get to it right there. Weird setup. I didn't expect that. But it's a nice sink and all that. Nice vanity. I mean, they're going to have a really nice floor, really nice sink and vanity there. Brand new toilet to poop in. I mean, I haven't even got to use it. So they'll get to break it in. And so no, their cheek has touched that toilet. Although I might have to be an asshole and just intentionally, you know, bare ass sit on it real quick just so I can at least, you know, feel like I broke it in. I'm just trying to be humorous right now. But, no, I'm sitting there realizing, wait a minute, I don't have the glue stuff. I gotta cut a hole in the back of this, and the only thing I have is basically a Sawzall. Or a rotary saw, whatever you want to call it. And so I was like, I'm not gonna cut a big old fucked up hole in the back of this thing. So I gotta go get like a keyhole drill bit type thing. They're those round drill bits that are like a saw that you would cut like a door handle hole out of, you know, or get them like 1 inch size, 2 inch, 3. I gotta get like a 2 inch and a 3 inch one. That way the plumbing I can put the vanity up against the wall properly. It doesn't damage the vanity. And I can pin it properly too. So I gotta deal with that noise. I have to go back down and do that part and then put the toilet in. Which actually won't take long, because all I have to do really is, once I get the liquid nails down and get all that down, I got some old flooring which you'd seen in that picture that right now it's just kind of laying down on the vinyl right now. It's just kind of not really, it's kind of holding it in place, but it's just more or less holding it in shape because it was all rolled up. So I don't want it to, you know, at some point when I go back down and kind of try to roll back into a rolled up sheet. But so I have to go back and deal with that, and then once that's done, that should take only like a couple hours finally this time, 2-3 hours. I'm on the final steps of it, and then cut the hole out for the vent. But but then, you know, so next weekend, instead of driving the Fiat, I'll be driving the truck. That's probably why I drove the Fiat and not realizing that I'm going to end up going back down again anyways. Because I got to get the generator, I got to get the rototiller. I have some log end stands and a couple they're about 2 feet across, like coffee table things that I made out of some chunks of log from a tree on my property. So there's still a couple things I need to get out of there anyways. And then today, before I came back up, because I had to stay, I basically had what I could do done yesterday. But I had to go get 2 MRIs today. One for my, I guess you call it, my lumbar, my lower lumbar, my lower spine. And then my thoracic or my mid spine, whatever you want to call it. So 2 different MRIs in that machine for 40 minutes. It was 20 minutes for each scan. So I took a nap in that thing. The noise was giving me a headache. I mean, it's still kind of ringing from it, but I hear a high-pitched ring anyways, especially my right ear all the time. And that's from my NF. But I'm laying in that machine, and they're like, you don't have to worry about not moving, you don't have to worry about holding your breath or anything like that. And they hand me this little air, bubble pump thing that they use for, that's what you squeeze to let them know that, let you out, that type of thing. I laid in there, and they asked what kind of music. I told them what radio station I normally listen to down there, but they didn't know what it was, so I just told them country. And so I get in this machine, and the bed's like all plastic, and then you got this head mold thing that you got to set your head in, and they put the headphones on me, and I just kind of was sitting in there snugly, like, you need blankets or anything? Like, no. And then they put a couple little pad things on each side, so that way it kind of helped my arms be a little more comfortable. And I don't know the use of the headphones and the music because I couldn't really hear it. All I heard was that machine and all the noises it made. Man. See, I've had MRIs before and CT scans and all that stuff for my neck, my spine, all that fun stuff, and then getting my brain scanned to make sure I don't have any tumors or anything growing up in there. But what was I gonna say? Sometimes I think about Total Recall when it comes to that thing. But oh yeah, I've had my tattoos like get warm at times, and that was in the past. But this time I was expecting it to happen. Like my tattoos were gonna get heated up a little bit, and didn't notice that, but I did notice like these little like pinpoint areas in some spots. Other spots it was like the area of like a fingernail all over my body. Like it felt like there was like this weird burning sensation, like if you just had an ash like come out of a fire pit, or like if you flick your cigarette and just before it burns out it lands on your skin and it kind of has that weird burn sensation. That's what it felt like. And then as usual, it causes like it's always been the same. Like the tumors in my body actually start like it does something like where it makes them all like really hurt. And so like my pain threshold's pretty high with a lot of stuff. Dental probably not so much. But a lot of this other stuff, my pain threshold's pretty high, so it takes a lot for me to really, really show I'm hurting a lot. Because I deal with this every single day. I sleep with it. I eat, drink, everything. It's a part of my life. So it's just, that's the one thing I don't like about the MRIs is like it feels like even the tumors in my arms and all that stuff, like they get really warm. Like that don't feel right. I've been trying to keep positive with everything going, with everything going on. Coda, quit being a goofball. Snoopy, leave Turkey Boy alone. But, Coda, no, it's too late. Honestly, I don't like that smell that I'm smelling right now. And I caught it on the wind, so I'm not sure if that's coming from like the neighbor's house or not. But I know others who've been, I know there's some who follow my vids regularly, and they noticed that I was getting to a point I was real positive on a constant basis. I was, a little more energy, started to show I was getting more and more driven, and I realized, without going into detail, because there are things that I've constantly, in almost every vid here at this point, there are things I don't really want to talk about, yet I do at the same time, so I just speak loosely on it. I'm understanding the serious nature of what a trauma bond is. I realized the moment that I started feeling like my energy just diminish, I'm starting to feel stuck again, even though I'm not around that person. And it was the moment I talked to them. And I've talked to them plenty since, because I have forgiven them. I just am never going to trust them again. And I'm finding myself in this position that I'm, you start getting like your inner voice is screaming at you, telling you one thing, screaming at you, dude, what the fuck? It's screaming at you. Yet for some reason, even though you're seeing all these flags, all these red flags, and all the caution signs, it's like you just keep going. It's like when they say don't push the red button, you push the red button. I am battling a demon right now, I feel like, and not in the literal sense. I mean, I could be, but I am struggling with something pretty heavy, especially on my mind and everything, and losing my dog and understanding how ripple effects work, or domino effects, that type of thing. How one situation can create a whole series of other problems stemming from that, and whether that person or you are directly involved on that, you're still the one that threw the stone in the water or tipped over the dominoes. Or that person, that type of thing. So I mean, I understand those types of situations, and I've been doing a shit ton of contemplating, a lot of internal battling, and honestly, I'm trying not to lose it, lose that internal battle. All I keep hoping and praying for is that once basically the bathroom's done and I'm done dealing with the easement shit, I just gotta sign those papers along with, my dad, who's the other owner of the house. When it comes to the title, we're the two on the title of the home and all that. So he has to sign, basically we have to sign something over, but to do with I guess sign over the title type thing, or something to help with the title transfer. I guess that's what that is. I've never sold a house before. I've bought one, like that, obviously, but I've never sold one, so this is a new process for me. It's still going to be something new to me, to a degree, of buying a house on my own without the need of anybody, and then reinvesting what I can to start a small business. I've got all kinds of things going through my head. I still want to be able to cook. I still want to be able to do a little produce store. Possibly do a pet and produce type thing. Kind of like nature's, just on a much smaller scale. I got all kinds of things going through my mind right now. the hardest thing for me to do, and it's usually the one thing that actually I come off like I'm angry at others about it, and it's not. It's because I feel uncomfortable doing it, and it bothers me so much that it upsets me with myself, and that's asking for help. And a lot of people, some people might think, well, you've asked for help before. I have, depending on the situation, where I've had no choice, where I've had to ask for outside help. For most part, I don't like doing it. It makes me uncomfortable. And I also learned that the last time I really needed help, which was when I got that house, it caused a whole lot of fucking problems. And so because of that, I try everything I can to avoid asking for help. I try to do it myself. And you always end up finding there's always a situation that you're going to find that you have to admit to yourself you can't do it alone. Or you can't do it on your own yeah. All I know is I need this house done, sold, so I can start the next process of a new home. And within that, I've really got to figure out a way to somehow break certain chains, because I'm afraid of certain cycles, and it's starting to bother me, and it's giving me anxiety. I'm not worried about financial debt on my part, really, because my credit's good. I pay my bills, and what bills I do have. Once my home is sold, that's the first thing I'm paying for, is all my bills before even getting another home. Like, I'm paying everything off. The only thing I'm not going to, yet will be able to continue to do the payment shit, is from my last MRI from a year ago. That shit's expensive. It's like 20 grand. It was like 11 grand, not 20. It was like 11 grand. So, I mean, that's like a house payment right there. A down payment for a house. And so, where these two MRIs, I'm actually having to apply for assistance on this, because it's, like I said, one MRI cost me something like just over $11,000. This is going to be 2. And so it's like, if I already had a home and like either had my business going, or was able to find, not necessarily find work I can do, but at the same time find work that I can do without worry of like some bullshit, I wouldn't have a problem making payments on that. I would, like, same with a car payment or a house payment. It's a bill that we willingly accept. And this is one of those things. It's like, yeah, this is why I want to be able to reinvest a large portion of this into starting a business, so that way I don't have to worry about whether or not I can pay certain bills, because I don't feel it's right that with things like my MRIs, I should be able to pay that shit and not have to rely on some sort of assistance program or grant to help pay for it. That stuff bothers me a lot. It does. So I deal with a lot of these inner conflicts when it comes to these things, because realistically, what I've desired pretty much my whole life is my independence. I've lived on my own, alone, all that stuff, for a number of years there before I got married, and so forth. I've paid all my bills, like with this house, all on my own. I've never had to worry of whether or not of being alone, or that codependency, financial codependency necessarily. Yet because of my disability, there's been too much of that somewhat level of codependency where myself and my parents are concerned. They still rely on me to help them with a lot of shit around the house, which I got to a point I just stopped. I just can't do it anymore. I sort of hit my wall. And I've been thankful my son's been stepping up because he's looking at taking over the house here in the next month or two. But which is good, because he's got a good wife, and his wife's really good. She's a good mom, and they have their son, and they'll be here to, you know, help out with my mom and my dad and everything like that. I need to break away. I need my own independence and all that. And those who know me personally and know some of my family history would understand what I mean. I don't want to end up like in my uncle's shoes, where he didn't have any independence pretty much until my grandma passed away. And then at that point, it was so late in life that he was dealing with cancer himself and stuck having to rely on his brother for a home. And I don't want to end up in those shoes. I watched what a lot of that stuff does. I seen what alcoholism does. Sadly, I've seen what, you know, smoking does, and I still smoke. I don't drink. I mean, I drink once in a while with my buddy Nate, and I do mean once in a while. But I just don't have a taste really for it at all. I couldn't care less. I mean, like a fifth of anything, like a fifth of vodka would last me a year, unless I go and hang out with my buddy Nate. Then that might last a month or two, you know, where I come down or come up and or go to his place, hang out, you know, a couple times a week. He'd probably be gone in a month or so, if that. He'd be gone rather quick because he likes his vodka. I have my favorites too. I just don't like to drink all the time. I don't care for it in that sense. I don't mind, you know, having a little drink here and there. At most, I have what would be the equivalent of a shot. Beer, I'm not a big beer guy. There's a couple brands I don't mind, like Bellhaven's. That's pretty good. That's not really a beer, but no, I'm just not a big drinker or anything like that. What you see is what you got. I smoke cigarettes, soda, and cannabis are my vices. Is what it is. I don't really have any other vices. But there's obviously one vice that I don't intend to have or never intended to have, and I've got to deal with it somehow. You know, I've got to figure out a way to be able to pull this shit together. I know I'm more than capable of doing it. I'm more than capable of doing what I keep saying I'm gonna do once my home's sold. I have no fears and no doubts in getting a new home and being able to start a business and doing well enough that I can pay my bills and not have to worry about whether or not the lights are gonna go off or not. I know I'll be able to work on some of my wonky projects that, you know, some people might think, oh, that's just a waste of time or whatever. Even if they tell me to my face, oh, that's cool. Actions speak louder than words. And along with history, you know, sometimes when certain actions, you know, with some people's histories outweigh their good actions, you start looking at it like odds. Like you have the odds of, let's say an 8 to 2 chance, or that would be like a 4 to 1 chance actually. Let's say a 4 to 1 chance of something bad happening, because yeah. And you keep you keep trying to get hope, and that one time it might be the winner. Now, usually a smart gambler would be like, no, I'm not gonna take that chance. That's, I'm not gonna take that chance at all. You know, 2 to 1 maybe. You got a 50-50 chance at that point. But when you start, you gotta really start listening to yourself and not be one of those dumb gamblers. It's like, I know I'm gonna lose anyways, but I'm gonna keep, for some reason, gambling on this. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble and not, I make sense to myself because I know what I'm talking about, and I know nobody else really does. And those who do, I applaud you for it. This place has got to get sold quickly, and I'm hoping it really is done by the 7th, because winter will hit down there. Should start seeing snow here technically anywhere from the 1st and 2nd week of October to the 2nd, 3rd week of October. So pretty much any time by mid-month of October. Yeah. So fall down there on the mountain lasts like 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks. That's all it takes. And then it's winter time. And you start getting snow, and my little car won't make it through that shit. So I won't be able to make those trips down. And thankfully I'll be done with the house. I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety, and not sure how to communicate with some things, and not sure how to ask for help on others. I'm just trying to do it. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good night, and take care. Night.